Many people have been wondering, when is XRP going to hit $5 or at the very least reach its previous all-time high at $3.31? Well, it's very much possible, but a few things are going to need to happen first, which is why in this video I'll be sharing the not so popular truth around XRP, the likelihood of it hitting $5 this year, and some of the most important factors that need to happen in order for XRP to reach that target. So you'll know what to do with your portfolio before XRP makes its major price advance. Still, many people have bear market and SEC PTSD and are worried that the local top may be in after watching XRP range for so dang long. For example, Cryptos said XRP is rejected at a critical weekly resistance. Lots of work still needed from the bulls, and he has his chart to explain why. Or Charting Guy saying the only thing that slightly concerns me short term about XRP is the bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. As you can see, here's the bearish divergence. Any potential dip is a buying opportunity in my opinion. I would not short this coin when news comes out any day and sends it 100+% in a single day, just like on the anniversary, right, of the SEC lawsuit win. Some people are far more negative, calling XRP a psyop because they think it's going to be $1,000 plus when the internet goes out. Still, I'll explain why XRP could very much hit $5 and why all of this ranging might be coming to an end very soon. I'll also be sharing how this one person with an extremely high level of accuracy on predictions believes it's going to hit $5. And we'll be covering the latest news from XRP from Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and how his latest announcement is an extreme vote of confidence in the future of Ripple and XRP. Last, I'll cover important Trump policies that will be extremely bullish for the US, how markets have been responding proactively to a Trump presidency, and how you can take advantage of it all and pump that portfolio of yours. So if you're feeling blessed, comment 777. If you're feeling bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to be the richest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Before we dive in, a quick reminder that the opinions in this video are for informational and educational purposes only and do not constitute financial, legal, or investment advice. All investments, including cryptos, carry risks and potential losses. Always do your own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor. We are not licensed financial advisors, and relying on our content for financial decisions is at your own risk. By watching this video, you agree we are not responsible for any losses or damages, and we do not guarantee any specific results or outcomes. Some of the links below may be affiliate links, and we may earn a commission, which actually helps support this channel and helps us to create value-based videos like this. We also hold some positions in the cryptocurrencies that we talk about, but that's only because we do what we believe in. However, this should not be interpreted as a recommendation for you to do the same. With that said, let's get into the video. It's safe to say that this recent rally got a lot of folks who were invested in XRP really excited. And who wouldn't be when you just saw the price pump about 60% in a very short period of time after having ranged and dumped for a longer period of time, basically back since April 11th of 2024. And if we zoom out to the daily time frame, you'll see that we've constantly just putting in lower highs and technically, as of late, lower lows. When you zoom out even further to the weekly time frame, you can see that we've just been in a multi-year consolidation phase, and I would argue over a period of 6.3 years, we've been trading at the same price of about 50 cents with some peaks and with some valleys. But if you're an investor, that is a very long time to wait. And arguably, you'd start to get a bit skittish when you look at the percentage gains of other cryptos and even something like the S&P 500. Because over that same period of time, the S&P 500 would have returned you about 111%. In other words, it would have been better to hold your money inside of an index fund. So I can say I understand why people might feel a little bearish after this recent weekly sell-off right here when we hit the 63-cent range only to dump right back down to 54 cents. And it very much looks like we might go back down to the bottom of this triangle. But I'm going to explain why the long wait might actually finally be over and how XRP can actually hit that $5 mark. And so I'm going to show you a video from the guy, and this would be the video where he predicted the Trump assassination attempt. And the reason I'm showing you this is because it was uncanny how similar his prediction was, which happened on April 8th, right? Well before the attempt. And then what he has to say about XRP.
He said there's going to be a new wave of patriotism coming out, and that's whenever I saw Trump, and I saw a red wave coming out of Michigan, and then I saw Oklahoma, and there was embers of people, and they were all on they had torches all throughout Oklahoma, and they were raising up these torches that looked like fire, and they were bringing forth a new patriotism upon the nation, and it was being birthed, and it just kept spreading like fire all throughout America, all throughout. And I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum.
What's really weird about that is he's even using his right ear, like he saw the right ear in the dream, right? Now, it's obvious the camera's pointing in this direction, but it's uncanny that he used his right hand to do that versus his left.
And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame.
Now, it's obvious that that was a Christian talk, whether you're Christian or not, right? There's something to be said about the level of accuracy around that prediction. And now here is the video of him talking about XRP. And he's been having conversations with God over a long period of time. He first heard about XRP back in 2017. And over that period of time, he'd been, praying and having different visions and things going on in his life. And then as of recently, about a month ago, he posts this.
All the rest of August, nothing. All the rest of September, the court case is doing stuff. Then this week, the lawsuit, the SEC lawsuit, was dropped in the court system. Bam! It's all over the place. Just like the Lord had showed me back in August when I'm mowing the grass, just like I'm doing, just praying in the spirit, mowing the yard. He says something fixing to happen. Then in a vision, I see XRP go to $5 to an XRP quickly, like within. I'm not going to give time frames. I just saw this. I saw a vision, and the Lord showed me XRP increasing up to $5.
Now, notice the key word that he uses there, quickly. I've done analysis into virtually all of the major altcoins and arguably the bigger players in the crypto space from a market cap perspective, and virtually all of them pump really hard at some point in their lifetime, usually earlier in their cycle. But that said, none of them pump as hard as XRP when it's ready to blast off. And so in this case, from the bottom of its sell-off due to the SEC news, it did pump relatively quickly, 773% over a period of 90 days, right? Then back here, it pumped extremely hard over a period of 60 days, and that was a 5,000% pump. Yet again, we had another month-long pump over here, and that pumped about a 1,300%. Now, the fact that it's been ranging and painting this very long triangle, the question is, when will it break out? And I think we're getting to be about there. We're very, very close, and I do believe the lawsuit coming to a complete close will give XRP and Ripple the breathing room to really pump. But there's more than just that. What XRP really needs is a regulatory environment that has total clarity to operate its business. And I think a Trump presidency would secure that environment. Listen to what Trump just had to say at the RNC.
I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody. To the nation's 50 million crypto holders, I say this with your vote. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. I will also...
And Trump's no stranger to crypto. He's already hinted at launching his fourth NFT collection. In a recent interview with Bloomberg, Trump revealed his intentions to release a new NFT collection. His campaign has even garnered support from notable figures in the crypto space, including Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz, co-founders of the venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz, otherwise known as A16Z. And if you know anything about the venture capital world of crypto, these guys hold one of the biggest war chests for investing into the space. But the future of our business, the future of new technology, and the future of America is literally at stake. So here we are. And for a little tech, we think Donald Trump is actually the right choice. And the likes of those fellas have actually partnered up with people like Brian Armstrong from Coinbase to create super PACs and donate tons of money to the cause. Fairshake is backed in part by Brian Armstrong, the CEO of the largest U.S. crypto exchange, Coinbase. He publicly pledged to contribute $1 million to the organization and has said the goal is for other companies to join in to grow its war chest to $50 million. Fairshake's website says it supports candidates committed to securing the United States as the home to innovators building the next generation of the internet. Crypto jobs and innovation will be on the ballot in 2024, Coinbase spokesperson Julia Krager said in a statement. Even Ripple is donating to the super PACs, and they want to get rid of Elizabeth Warren, basically the evil ruler who tirades against crypto. Ripple Labs has donated $1 million to the Commonwealth Unity Fund, a new super PAC established by pro-crypto attorney James Murphy, aiming to unseat Senator Elizabeth Warren. And when you think about it, that actually provides more seats for Republicans and strengthens the party behind Donald Trump, which ultimately will provide a better regulatory path for the entire crypto market. Ripple also recently committed $25 million to Fairshake, another pro-crypto super PAC, following a similar contribution in 2023. So Fairshake is just blowing through loads of money to put the right people in the right places in Washington, which will ultimately lead for a clear path to new all-time highs on XRP. And if you thought Trump couldn't get more popular with pro-crypto people, he's still going to speak at the Bitcoin conference here on July 25th through 27th. Now, what's really interesting is, and here's what this article had to say, I'm no political strategist, but I've always found it strange when presidential candidates spend time campaigning in states they have no risk of losing. Because when you think about campaigning, they usually stick to the states that are the battleground states, the states that they are swing states where they could potentially swing a few voters in their direction to win an election cycle. And in other words, Tennessee is not one of those. They're typically far more right-leaning. And so if you're going to spend time in that state, there has to be a good reason, especially in order to win an election. Donald Trump is going because he wants to secure the votes of pro-crypto holders. 52 million Americans own crypto, according to the crypto exchange Coinbase. That's a boatload of voters, and that's why in his recent speech he talked about 50 million people that he wants to appeal to. Certain states are only won or lost by tens of thousands of votes, so you don't need to have 50 million people becoming single issue voters. You only need a couple 100,000 in the right areas. So being pro-crypto and delivering on those promises may very well secure Donald Trump the election. And obviously single issue voters are not the only thing that can win an election, but I think it can swing a state or two. Then when you have the compounded or added effect of Democrats turning on themselves, hear what Van Jones had to say about it.
A virus just stopped biting. You've got the nominees of this party getting their butts kissed. Biden's getting his butt kicked by his own party. The Democrats are coming apart. The Republicans are coming together.
And most people think the election is secured when they continue to see signs of strength out of Trump, delivering his longest yet speech at the Republican National Convention, while Joe Biden got COVID, had to cancel multiple events, and now he's struggling to get into a car. And you can see on this video how slow moving, how difficult it is for him to pick his things up, how people actually have to help him get into the car. It's a pretty sad sight from someone who says they are going to continue to run. Now, there have been rumors that they are no longer going to run, but apparently there's a lot of stuff going on at the White House. Kamala Harris recently posted about how her and Joe Biden are going to continue to win this race, and how Joe Biden is still in the run. But a lot of folks think they're going to drop out by this weekend, with prominent faces like Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama coming over to Joe and saying, hey, it's time for you to drop out. We need someone else in, running the show. And right here, Jack Poso said, breaking, massive drama right now in the White House. Kamala advisors straight up telling Biden advisors it's time to pass the buck. Exact words used per White House official. This is the first direct open confrontation at the senior level. And it's fair to say that the Democrats really are falling apart right now. Then Donald Trump delivers another portion of his speech, basically stating that we need to increase our energy production and how good that would be for the United States.
America is on the cusp of a new golden age, but we will have the courage to seize it. We're going to take it. We're going to make it a current. We're going to bring this into a golden age like never seen before. Remember this, China wants to do it, Japan wants to do it, all of these countries want to do it. We have to produce massive amounts of energy if we're going to produce the new, if you look at some of the things that have been done and some of the things that we're going to do, but AI needs literally twice the electricity that's available now in our country. Can you imagine?
And what he's saying is true. I think a lot of the pushback from the left or the liberals are that energy is typically dirty, right? And because of that, we're polluting the world and we're going to have global warming and absolute chaos, yada, yada, yada. But that doesn't always necessarily mean that all energy needs to be dirty, right? We could have nuclear energy, which arguably is very safe and produces a boatload of energy. And there's a lot of, ways that we can capitalize on renewables. And when you look at the old studies of Tesla and how he was able to produce energy, we believe that people killed him for it, right? And then they took the research. So that said, what's really interesting is there's a memo and a document from Energy for Growth Hub back on March 7th of 2023. And they said a positive relationship between energy and economic growth is clear. Income and energy consumption are tightly correlated on every continent and across every time period for which data exists. That is insane, guys. And I would argue that is unequivocal evidence that the richer a country becomes, the more that their energy demands increase. And if we increase our energy production, right, then typically, and as long as we use it properly, then typically we are going to become wealthier as a nation. And as our nation becomes more wealthy, right, more technologies open up doors for like creation of wealth, for crypto, for AI, for just about everything. That said, it says, nowhere in the world is there a wealthy country that consumes only a little energy, nor a poor country that consumes a lot. And here is the example, right? These would be relatively poor countries from a GDP per capita, and right here would be the energy consumption. You can see that all of the poor countries produce a lot less energy. All of the rich countries from a GDP per capita, and you can see the United States is right here. You have Norway right here. I don't know which country this is over here. Ireland, so on and so forth. That the curve is up and to the right. This looks very similar to a Bitcoin chart, which is kind of funny and interesting when you think about the energy requirements of Bitcoin and that network. And you could argue that people and economies are just networks at scale. But there are no low energy rich countries. In other words, if Donald Trump is loose or lenient on energy, right, and provides tax breaks for these types of situations and things, well, then it's safe to say that the entire economy is actually going to benefit from. And here's what Mark Cuban had to say about it. Here's a contrary opinion on the emergence of Silicon Valley support for former President Trump, which, like all of my opinions on here, probably won't be so popular. But it's a Bitcoin play. Not because the former president is far stronger proponent of crypto. That's nice, but doesn't really impact the price of crypto. It makes it easier to operate a crypto business because of the inevitable and required changes at the SEC. By the way, very positive for XRP as well. What will drive the price of Bitcoin is lower taxes and tariffs, which, if history is any guide, and it's not always, will be inflationary. Combine that with global uncertainty as to the geopolitical role of the USA and the impact on the US dollar as a reserve currency, and you can't align the stars any better for Bitcoin price acceleration. Now, when you think about that statement, I think there's a lot of truth to that, even though I don't agree with Mark Cuban on many of the things that he says. I think he's kind of foolish. However, I think he's very right here. I do believe that we might have higher rates of inflation, but I think with all the tax rates and the tariffs and more energy consumption, that Bitcoin price acceleration will create for a market environment for XRP to hit that $5 range. And Mark Cuban ain't lying. Trump is promising a tough stance on China and the EU with tariffs, right? In this article, he says, furthermore, he hinted at a trade war. He emphasized imposing new tariffs of 60 to 100% on China and a 10% tariff on imports from other countries. Trump said, "We love Scotland and Germany. We love all these places, but once you get past that, they treat us violently," referring to the trade deficit with Europe exceeding $200 billion. In other words, Americans are always taken advantage of. Our own politicians always put other countries before they put us. And I think people are sick of it. They want a new leader in place who puts America first, which is why I think he's so popular right now, even though he's arguably one of the most polarizing presidents in history. And the pendulum has swung. Even Microsoft is reportedly firing their DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion team, becoming the latest company to ditch woke policy. Ultimately, the only reason you scrap these types of teams is because you realize you don't actually need them and they cost you more money to look good in the public eye. But even Zoom, Snap, Tesla, DoorDash, Lyft, Home Depot, and Wayfair have all downsized their DEI teams. Overall, DEI-related job postings declined by 44% by mid-2023 compared to the same period in 2022. Now, why do I share this? Well, there's a book called The Fourth Turning, an American Prophecy, and here's what the book basically explains. First comes a high, a period of confident expansion. Next comes an awakening, a time of spiritual exploration and rebellion. Then comes an unraveling in which individualism triumphs over crumbling institution. Last comes crisis. And I do believe we were in those final two stages over the last 8 years, from the first Trump presidency through the Biden crisis, if you will. The authors look back 500 years and uncover distinct patterns. Modern history moves in cycles, in other words, like a pendulum, each one lasting about the length of a long human life, each composing of 4 20-year eras or turnings that comprise history's seasonal rhythm of growth, maturation, entropy, and rebirth. And I think this country is in dire need of a rebirth. So yes, we could dial down the rhetoric. Yes, we need unity. Yes, ultimately we need to love our neighbors. And yes, I think the SEC and all of these situations and cases in which crypto has been attacked is going to turn as well. The pendulum is swinging towards crypto now in an energy-rich country that has clarity around it. Combine the current political climate with what Brad Garlinghouse recently had to say, and I think it makes a strong concoction for a massive pump.
About 30 seconds left, Brad, but I am curious here about your relationship with the SEC. Are you in settlement talks at all with the agency right now?
I can't comment on that specifically. Suffice it to say that the ruling has been clear from the judge. There's one final piece, as you referenced, about these investment contracts that are sold to institutions. We expect resolution very soon, but can't predict exactly when the judge will rule there.
And the way that I would take that is he's saying that they expect a conclusion soon. And with the recent price pump of XRP, it's almost like insiders know something that we don't. So he has to hold his tongue here, right? Because he can't go and disclose that information to the public. But I feel like when he says that, he actually means it this time around. And if things couldn't get even more bullish, here's what he recently said.
Liquidity in those things. I mean, look, I've always viewed an IPO as a step in the journey, not the end of a journey. What we have done instead of, and this is actually new news that we haven't shared publicly, we have done a series of tender offers where we've been buying shares back from investors and employees. And we're in the middle of another tender offer. And after we finish this, we will have repurchased $1.4 billion of stock from our shareholders.
Wow.
Now, why that's really important, okay, it's not necessarily going to directly impact the price of XRP. He's talking about stock in the company Ripple. Usually when a company does this, it basically states that they have supreme confidence in the future of that company, that they're here to stay. You wouldn't go and dump $1.4 billion into a stock you don't believe in. And in similar fashion, when you look at history and all of the greatest businessmen and investors of all time, people like John D. Rockefeller were itching to buy back stock from people who weren't as convicted as him in Standard Oil. Warren Buffett would go and buy back stock, sometimes at premiums, from investors who didn't have as much conviction as him in the company. Same with people like Henry Ford or, Amazon with Jeff Bezos. People who believe in their company and know that the future is bright for it buy back their stock. So this is massive news coming from a guy who might know something that we don't about the future of Ripple and XRP. So now let's look at this massive descending triangle. There's a couple things I noticed. One, it's the fact that we have a crazy amount of support from the technical perspective and the volume perspective. Looking at the volume, we have insane levels of support from 38 cents down to 18 cents, which means at any point in time here, I would consider this the buy zone. Also, when you pair it up with actual technicals back here in this range, and I'll turn that VRVP off, and then obviously technical levels back in this range, I would argue that here from 38 cents down to 18 cents, massive buy level. And so although we do have an insane descending triangle on a weekly time frame, if we do break out above that 75 cent range to 94 cent range, then chances are we're probably going up to that previous all-time high for $3.31. Most of the newer altcoins in the previous bull market of 2021 did it. A lot of altcoins this bull market cycle made new all-time highs, but very few of them have ever made it into the top 10 cryptos by market cap and held that range for quite a time. And so it's safe to say that something like XRP is not going away, and it's only a matter of time that we get an actual settlement, that we get a positive political climate and clarity, and that ultimately we become a more rich and independent country from an energy perspective, that all of these stars align and those catalysts take XRP back to its previous all-time high of $3. And then I think it's safe to say that if it broke above there, it could easily hit that $5 range. Now, we'll be on this channel, we'll be covering it live as it happens, so we'll let you know what we see then. But it's safe to say any one of these catalysts can take it up to that $5 range. I don't see a reason why it couldn't. That would be at about a $300 billion market cap, which is arguably, less than the size of Ethereum at any point in time during a bull market and a bull run. Being number 7 right now and Ethereum being at like number 2, it's arguable that Bitcoin will be at multiple trillions of dollars. Ethereum could be potentially even at like $800 to $900 billion, and then something like XRP could be upwards of $200 to $300 billion per market cap. And so I'm pretty confident that it's going to do something like that into, if not this bull run, definitely by the next bull run. But I think by this bull run, it's safe to say we'll break that, $1.75 to $2 range. So, and that would happen by the end of 2024 or arguably into 2025. So if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and smash the subscribe button, like the video, leave us a comment below for what you think is going to happen in the upcoming weeks and months, and head on over to bullrunners.com. You can get the link down in the description below. And when you come over here, you'll discover how to earn more crypto in less than 10 minutes with the #1 play to earn XRP game. Go ahead and click on that link, send us your email, and we'll get you more information on it. Till then, we'll see you on the next video, and have a wonderful rest of your day, my friend.